Welcome back to The Average Kitchen. Today, we're gonna do something that's kind of unique here, something we've never done before. We're actually gonna test out the brand new Ninja NeverClog cold press juicer. We've got 4 different juices that we're gonna do today to show you how this works. We've taken it out of the box, we've washed all the components, and we started to do some prep. We've never used this before, so we do get a lot of chirps from people that think that we're gonna be subject matter experts on every single product that we ever review. I can tell you it's impossible. We review so many different products, we just wouldn't have the time to use this for 6 months and then become an expert on it to show you the expertise. Our goal of our show is to show you the average consumer, the average homeowner, the average person to be able to take this out of the box, have a look at the instruction book, and get going, in this case, juicing. Not somebody who's a pro. So, it comes with 2 different filters, and we're gonna show you how to switch them out. The one that's already inside is the less pulp. This one is the more pulp. So we're gonna do a couple juices with each to show you the difference, and we're gonna strain the juice to show you if it does leave residual pulp or not. So, I do have a juicer, I haven't used it in a while, made by a different company. I used to always throw a bag in the container that collects all the pulp. I hope that should work on this as well. It makes cleanup a lot easier. So we're gonna try that. We're gonna do what they call, out of their book, called the Cucumber Kale Crusher. So we've got here some celery, some English cucumber, green apple, and ginger, lemon, and kale. So, what it says in the book is to press start and gradually add the ingredient into the chute in the order listed. For best results, allow the juicer to process each piece before adding more to the chute. So, we're gonna follow the instructions as best we can, and it says to start with the kale. So, we're gonna hit start. We're gonna plug it in first, actually. That's gonna be the first thing we're gonna do. That usually helps. All right, so I was telling Jamie, the previous juicer that I had, it's probably about 5 years old, was made by Breville, however you want to pronounce it, and it was super loud. This one's not. So, the only thing initially that I'm not a big fan of so far with this is the chute is quite small, but we're gonna work through it here. Some lovely kale that so far has produced no juice. And Jamie had made a comment saying, okay, that's not, we're not off to a good, oh. Oh, Mark. Yep. All right. We got to, a small error here. Small error. I just mixed up the chute and the pulp collector. So I apologize for that. Let me get sorted here. We are back. I apologize for that. This is The Average Kitchen, as we always say. We'll get that back on. So again, the chute is quite small. So I may try to, as best I can, cut up some of my kale here. It does sound like it's working hard, but we are juicing kale. I would think that the kale is going to be the most challenging thing to feed into the tube here just because of how coarse and dense it is. I was telling Jamie, I saw this short the other day that I thought was quite funny. This guy, whoever he was, said the best way to prep kale is to take it out of the package or however it's wrapped, wash it, and throw it right into the garbage. So I thought that was funny. This is a lot of work. And I could tell you, the Breville one that I had, way easier. All right, we're finally done the kale. Next on the list was English cucumber. Now this happens to be quite a large cucumber, so I'm gonna actually quarter it. And this should progressively get easier now that we're away from the kale, I would think. The cucumber is pretty much just getting crushed here, which is good. All right, next up was the celery. You ever seen that panda video eating carrots and celery and stuff like that? It's exactly what it sounds like. So next was green apple. Again, these should chop through pretty easily. Now I quartered the apple. It says in the book 2-inch pieces, which this is maybe a little bit smaller than a 2-inch piece. All right, we're through our apple. Now we've got our half lemon that they said to cut the peel off. So I've done that. Then we have a pretty generous piece of ginger here. And we're pretty much full right to the brim here. Is it still coming out there? Yeah. Jamie, roughly how long did that take?
Roughly 11 minutes.
11 minutes to make a glass of cucumber kale crush. Now does it say? It says that it takes, the prep is 5 minutes. Now I don't know if that's the prep of cutting all your vegetables and getting everything ready, or if that's the prep, I suspect that's what it is. It says it makes 4 servings, 8 ounces each. Now, that would be pretty small servings, but anyway, let me get my station cleaned up here a little bit, and we're gonna move on to giving this a try. All right, so we have everything cleaned up. We're gonna be ready for our next test. In the meantime, I wanted to show you the difference between the 2 strainers, or filters, I believe they call them. And you can see obviously one is on the top side, the bottom side they appear to be the same. On the top side, one is quite a bit more coarse than the other. So I have this little strainer here, which the holes are actually maybe slightly bigger than this. And we're just gonna strain this into the glass to see if there's any residue. How is this gonna go? We're gonna find out. As presumed. So I would say, hard to see, but a little bit, but almost nothing. Let's give it a try. So it's what you expect with that flavor profile. Ginger super strong, which is at the front of the taste of this. But overall, it's good. It's quite good. All right, so in preparation for our next juice, which we're gonna do the Berry Burst, I just wanted to show you real quick how to put this together. So basically you have your, I'm sure there's a fancy name for this, but this reservoir. So your shaft with your corkscrew, I guess, or your grinding wheel goes inside. In this case, for this next application where you're gonna use the coarse filter, it goes in, and you can see how that ridge just sits inside of there. And then we have our, I guess, closing lid. I should actually look the name of these fancy things. And you can see, or maybe you can't, there's like a little lock and unlock tab here. I don't know if you can see that, Jamie. So you just want to line that up with the small arrow that's on the front of that. And then that locks into place. And then that, you'll see the shaft here now goes into here. No, that's wrong. Sorry for that. And then this is your food tray that goes on top. That's obviously your plunger that we showed. And this goes underneath here. There is this little tab, I'm working across my body here. And the theory behind this tab is whenever you're done juicing, in order to not make a mess, you flip that tab over and it stops anything from dripping. So we want to make sure that that's left open. And then we have our pulp collector here. All right, we're back to do Berry Burst. Got some beautiful ingredients here, but Jamie and I were just talking off camera. Very, very, very expensive, especially nowadays with the inflation, at least here in Canada. Everything is insanely expensive. Like this here, like we got a cup of strawberries, half a cup of raspberries, 2/3 of a cup of blueberries, an orange, and a cup of fresh pineapple. They say you can't use frozen fruit, so this is all fresh fruit. There's probably, I don't know, $10, $12, $15 worth of fruit here. So if this is gonna be your daily thing, you gotta pay for it. So you'll see here we now are using the orange, what they call lots of pulp orange filter. And we're gonna follow in the order that they suggest. So they suggest with strawberries. I was saying to Jamie, I suspect there should be a lot less pulp going into our bowl here than before. Only because, you know, with kale and cucumber and stuff, you know, the cucumber had a bit of a rind on it, but we're gonna find out. Now we're into our pineapple. And if you haven't seen our video, we had bought these kind of inexpensive gadgets on Amazon and did a video on them, and one of which was a pineapple corer. And I'm sure our amazing editor Dan could put a link or a little clip of that in there. You could take a fresh pineapple, which I did, and you could core out the entire pineapple in 30 seconds maybe. No waste of the pineapple, no, you know, prickly parts or parts that have to clean up. It's fantastic. All right, next they suggest the orange. So I'm probably gonna cut that even smaller. Now you'll see on this one, I have not had to so far use the plunger at all. It's all sort of self-feeding with gravity. And because everything's wet and sort of juicy, I guess, it all just slides down into the feed tube. Now that I say that, the orange may need a little bit of guidance. All right, there's our orange in. Well, I will use the plunger on the orange just to give a little light push. Next, they show doing blueberries. So let's hope we don't make a mess here and throw these all over the place. We'll start feeding those in. Beautiful. And then lastly, we've got our raspberries. Get those in there. Very quiet though, I will say. And we will throw up our Average Kitchen famous decibel reader to show you. Quite quiet. And we're looking at maybe about 1/4 of the pulp that we had from the last recipe. All right, so I just gave that a stir. It's got a beautiful color. I'm gonna try not to make a mess here by pouring this in. I just wanna show the difference, and maybe you don't have any, feel there's any value in that, but we just wanted to show the difference of the pulp in this, which obviously, as you can see, this strainer I have is already getting clogged up. Is there any value to show you that this leaves behind pulp, which we already know it does? Give it a try. Very good, very orangey, but it's great. All right, we're into tropical twist this time. This time they suggest starting with orange, which is a little bit different. So we're gonna get some fresh orange that I just sort of quartered and peeled. So that's starting to juice. Now, I mean, would this make unbelievable pure fresh orange juice? Probably. So now we're into our pineapple. Get those down there. And the pineapple, they say half a cup. Obviously this is a loose guess on the size here. And we're gonna use our plunger because I see some of that orange is sort of just hanging on there. So you'll see when I plunge that, get on the top here, Jamie, you can see that little splash back here. Oh, idiots. Oh, we're so stupid.
The Average Kitchen.
It is the Average Kitchen. I was thinking, geez, why is there so much juice there? Could happen to anybody, but it happens to us quite frequently. So now we're into some fresh mango here that I peeled and cut up. So yet again, I guess depending on where you live in the world, if you're lucky enough to live in a tropical nation where you have accessible fresh fruit, which is inexpensive to purchase, then you're very, very lucky. If you live in Canada like we do, where we can't grow this type of stuff, we definitely pay for it when you go to the store to buy it. And by the way, I love, as a world traveler myself, who travel quite frequently, heading actually to Italy and Croatia in 2 weeks, we love hearing where you're from in the world. I love all your comments, but I really enjoy hearing from our friends in the UK, in the US, and in Europe, and in different places in the world. Love hearing where everybody's from. It's still sort of crushing through some of the fruit here, and we're still getting some drips. So again, I'm gonna get kind of cleaned up here, and we'll let that finish off, and then we'll give it a try. Little Crown Royal NHL glass from way back when from my bar downstairs, Columbus Blue Jackets. Little shout out to the Blue Jackets. Not a fan, but kind of a cool glass. I've noticed that the recipes that we're making are making progressively less and less juice, but this one only had 3 ingredients. Let's give it a try. Wow. You make that, pour it over some ice with a little bit of Malibu rum, like coconut rum or something like that, you feel like you're in the Caribbean. Super fresh, really good. Probably my favorite so far, even more than the Berry Blast. While we're shooting this video, this was not really part of our plan. Jamie and I always have a sort of a shoot plan of what we're gonna do, and we buy the appropriate groceries and stuff, as you can imagine. I said, why don't we just cut up 4 massive oranges and throw it into the juicer here and just see 4 massive oranges, how much orange juice you'll get from it, and how amazing is it gonna be to have just freshly squeezed orange juice. So give us a few minutes to get all these peeled, and we're gonna see how much juice 4 giant oranges will actually produce. Finally, we're done prepping all this. Let's throw a bunch of oranges in and see what happens. I just realized as I'm doing this that the plunger is in the sink, but that's okay. And I did open up the little trap door there so we didn't have the same issue we did on the last test that you saw. So as you saw, 4 very good sized oranges. And the great debate becomes, why not just eat the orange? Like, why go through all of this prep and all this work? We don't have the answer to that.
We don't have the answer to that.
If you're a nutritionist or a health specialist, and you can leave us a comment as to the reason why, or the benefits, the health benefits to juicing versus consuming the actual fruit, for example, we'd love to know. All right, so as you can see, it made a good amount of juice. This is 700 mils. I had to stop it mid-juice to dump some into a glass here so that we didn't have a mess. But the color on it is absolutely gorgeous. Let's give it a try. It's really good. Like, really good. So if you have the time and the wherewithal to grind it out peeling oranges and have to clean up all this mess, you'll probably be rewarded with this beautiful glass of orange juice that you're probably going to quite enjoy. All right, so last one, Healthy Start Veggie Juice. It says to use any filter. We just threw the orange one in there because whatever. So it says to start it with green apple, celery, red pepper, carrots, lemon, and finishing off with fresh parsley. So Jamie and I are very pessimistic, we'll say, of how this is gonna grind out carrots, but we're gonna find out. So like I said, it says to start it with green apple. Doesn't like the apple, eh? Got angry with us the last time on the apple. Get in there. 2 stalks of celery. Red pepper. Should give it some nice color, actually. And now, carrots. Are you nervous, Jamie?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. We're juicing. There's actually no blade on this. It's just this giant corkscrew that I guess just crushes it, and through that filter squeezes out the juice. So when you go to clean it, and Jamie's been really enjoying the cleanup on this episode. Would you not agree, Jamie? When you go to clean it, there's no worry about getting hurt because there's no blade. So half a lemon. That was pretty easy. And now parsley. Hard to believe that you're getting juice out of the parsley, but when you look at this, it's definitely grinded it out.
Eat it?
Eat it? No thanks. Okay, we're gonna try this juice and then we're gonna break down what we think of this. We have an average kitchen scoring matrix if you've watched any of our videos before, which I hope you have. And we're gonna break down what the score is and why we gave it that score. All right, so let's try this lovely colored juice. They say you eat with your eyes. Well, sneak peek, Jamie tried it and he said it was brutal. So let me try it. Ooh. I don't know who would start their day out with that. But anyway, that's a recipe, that's a choice. It's whatever you like to make. We just wanted to try a different variety of different types of juices. Let's talk about the product. Jamie and I came up with a scoring matrix a while ago, and my brother, Jeff, shout out to my brother Jeff, and his wife, came up with a suggestion for us. What we've been doing in the past is just we give you a score out of 10. This is what we scored out of 10. My brother suggested break down your categories so that people have an understanding of what you're referencing while you are coming up with a score. So the price on this product was $129 US, which would be roughly $200 Canadian, so not cheap, but what is cheap these days? So price point, we give it a 7.1. The functionality of it, I mean, it's a juicer. It functioned, it's loud, it's not very fast. The chute is way too small, but it still functioned well. It juiced. So we gave that a 7.6, and these scores are all out of 10. The versatility, well, it's not very versatile. It's a juicer, it does what it's supposed to do, but we give that a 6.8. Cleaning, a little bit different this time. Everything is dishwasher safe with the exception of the main unit, which could be a huge bonus. So if you're using the dishwasher to clean this, we're gonna give it an 8.5. But if you're hand washing it, which we've been doing all day for all these different juices, which is a colossal pain, it's a 3.1. Size, it's reasonably compact, 8.4, and the quality, 7.8. So the two scores, the two average kitchen scores, hand washing score 6.8 overall, dishwasher 7.7. I don't know if there's a big juicing community out there, and if there is, I don't know how this compares to a lot of other juicers. I only have my own personal experience with a Breville one that I have that's probably, like I said earlier, about 5 years old. It functions way better than this, like way better. Even the pot to collect the pulp and stuff would be 3 times the size on the Breville one I have. Now I do not remember what I paid for it. It is a ton of work, a lot of prep, a lot of peeling, a lot of cutting, a lot of, obviously, and you saw the first juice that we did took almost 10 minutes just to get all the vegetables and fruit through the machine. So this is not built for speed, but maybe it's for you. Maybe it's something that you would use daily. It's expensive to use these because it won't allow you to use any frozen fruit. So therefore you're buying fresh fruit all the time, no matter what the season is. If you're buying fresh fruit all the time, it's gonna be really expensive. So overall, I wouldn't personally have this in my repertoire of appliances. It wouldn't be something that I would use. Jamie? Probably not, he says, but maybe you would. And if you would, I would love for you to leave us a comment and let us know what your favorite thing to juice is, how often you use it, that type of stuff like that. That's our video. If you want to continue to see amazing content from us, the best way you could help us out is to just subscribe. Hit like, leave us a comment, hit the notification bell. That allows us to continue doing what we're doing. We are not affiliated to Ninja or anybody else. We're independent. We want to give you honest, thorough reviews. We're the Average Kitchen. We'll see you on the next one.